Okay, our continuation concept is wavelength of a transmission wave and its velocity of propagation. Here, transmission wave means here we can transmit AC power, is that right? Otherwise, electric power. Which type of power means AC power? That AC power can be transmitted through the transmission line in the form of wave. That wave is this type of wave means electromagnetic wave. Is it? So that means here some properties are there for any waves. For electromagnetic wave, to determine the velocity of its propagation or power wave propagation through the transmission line, first we will define and determine the wavelength of our power wave or EM wave through the transmission line or long transmission line. Means first wavelength means what? Wavelength means the distance between any two successive troughs or troughs. That means electromagnetic wave means a trough is there, is it? So here wavelength means which is the distance between any two successive trough or trough. Actually, that distance is 2 pi, 360 degrees. Is that right? That is one full cycle. That's why wavelength can be defined as the distance of wave travels along the line while the phase angle is changed through 2 pi radians is called a wavelength. Generally, the wavelength lambda can be represented with lambda is equal to 2 pi by beta, where 2 pi is the total length of our AC wave. Is that right? It's a 2 pi divided by phase constant beta value. So from this is the wavelength or a distance. Is it? The change of 2 pi in phase angle represents one full cycle in a time and occurs in a distance of one wavelength. So then we know that velocity is equal to actual format distance by time here. Is it right? The rate of change of displacement is called velocity. That's why distance by time. Where distance means in the wavelength here. That's why wavelength lambda by t. Is that right? So that means 1 by t is nothing but frequency lambda into f. That means the velocity which is equal lambda into f of where lambda is the wavelength of power wave through the transmission line and f is the frequency of power wave. From this lambda is equal to v by f. From this lambda is equal to v by f. Is that right? So then substituting equation 1 in equation 2 we get 1 is a lambda value. That means v is equal to lambda means 2 pi by beta into f. And we know that 2 pi f is nothing but omega. That's why v is equal to omega by beta. Omega by beta here. And so v is equal to omega by beta. So where v is nothing but the velocity of propagation of power wave through the transmission line. So this is the velocity of propagation along the line based on the observation of a change in phase angle along the line. It is derived. It is expressed based on the observation of the change in phase angle of carried wave along the line here. So now we will derive an expression here. So here omega is the angular frequency in radian per second and beta is the radian per meter phase constant. Finally, velocity can be expressed as miles per second or kilometer per second, not meter per second. Here, length of transmission line is more than 250 kilometers long transmission. That's why it is kilometer per second or miles per second. So expression for velocity of propagation, it is very essential. So now see here, we know that z is equal to r plus j omega l as well as y is equal to g plus j omega. So from this, gamma is equal to alpha plus j beta. This is very well. So from the rigorous method. And now in the previous class also we are defined gamma is the propagation constant and which is a complex number which can be expressed as alpha plus j beta. Alpha is an attenuation constant which is a real part of propagation constant. Beta is the imaginary part of propagation constant and which is called phase constant. And now from rigorous method we know that gamma is equal to square root of z by. Z means what happened r plus jx. Y means what happened we are already defining it. G plus j omega. Now substituting here, what happened here means like this we can substitute here. Is that? So now squaring on both sides. Gamma square. Gamma square means alpha plus j beta whole square is equal to, here root cancel out. So alpha plus j beta whole square means this is the formula. Is it? Now by simplifying this, what happened? Oh, which is a quadratic equation. Alpha square, beta square minus. This alpha square plus beta square. It is a quadratic equation. Then we can simplify this. This is the expression, alpha expression. And this is the beta expression. Finally, in a perfect line, lossless line, for a lossless line, R is equal to 0 and G is equal to 0. We are already discussed in the surge impedance loading. Then above equation would be beta is equal to omega into square root of LC. Omega into square root of LC. And the velocity of propagation, lossless line means that is ideal line. So such ideal line is given by omega by beta. Right. So here what happened? Omega by beta. So the above equation showing the linear line parameter values fix the velocity of propagation. What happened? If beta is substituted in the v is equal to omega by beta, that means we can obtain the p value. Omega is 2 pi. Is it? Like that we can obtain the velocity of propagation of wave through the transmission line. Is that right? Next, very important concept is of Faraday effect. What is mean by Faraday effect here? Simply, generally, what is the nature of transmission? Sending end voltage is there. When voltage is applied across the sending end terminals of transmission line, what happened here? Current flows through the transmission line. Finally, voltage appears across the receiving end of the transmission line. Is it right or wrong? Yes. But here, due to the resistance and reactance of a transmission line or simply impedance of a line, voltage drops are adjusted across the line here. That's why what happened? Sending end voltage decreases, final appeared voltage is receiving end voltage. That's why receiving end voltage is less than the sending end voltage. But here Faraday effect means the receiving end voltage is greater than the sending end voltage. When it is possible means during lightly load conditions and no load condition. Such a phenomenon is called Faraday effect. That's why Faraday effect is defined as the during lightly loaded condition or no load condition, the voltage at the receiving end of transmission line is more than the sending end voltage. Is it right? Such phenomenon is known as Faraday effect. Such phenomenon is known as Faraday effect. Why? What is the reason why the VR is greater than that of VS, sending end voltage? Who are responsible for this? Means, see here, when the voltage is applied at the sending end, the current drawn by the capacitance of the line, that means due to the shunt to capacitance, what happened means from the line capacitor draws the current. When capacitor draws the currents, charging currents are developed. Charging current means the current drawn by the capacitance of the line. The capacitor current is called as charging current. Is it? So that's why due to this charging current, what happened when charging current flows through the inductor? What happened? That charging current is alternating current. When the charging current is alternating current means what happens now? Where the inductor is stationary, what happens here? Statically induced EMF is there at the receiving end terminals. That means EMF is added here. That's why what happened here? Due to charging currents, what happened? Voltage can be raised across the receiving end terminals. That's why due to this charging currents of capacitor, the inductor produces the induced voltage. That's why at the receiving end terminals, voltage can be raised. That's why due to charging currents, the receiving end voltage is slightly more than that of sending end voltage. But it is possible at no load condition or load condition, because if load is connected, that charging currents are taken by the load currents. Is it right? Because of IS is equal to IC plus IL. IL is equal to IR plus IC. Is that so? Where IR is nothing but a load current when load is connected to receiving end. But lightly loaded and no load condition, there is no load. That's why that the charging current is injecting to the line. That injection is for the inductive reactance. Then what happens? Receiving end voltage rises. So that's why Ferranti effect is exist in the longer transmission line because of capacitance is neglected in the shorter transmission line. Is that so? When capacitance is neglected, charging currents are also zero. That's why there is no Ferranti effect. But for in medium and a long transmission line, capacitance is exist. That's why charging currents are exist. That's why Ferranti effect is there. But in long transmission line, Ferranti effect is more because of its length is more. That's why distributed capacitance also more. When capacitance is more means capacitive current also. So that's why, thus at no load or light load condition, the voltage at the receiving end is quite large as compared to the constant voltage at the sending end. Is that this phenomenon is called Ferranti effect. What happens due to the Ferranti effect? What are the problems associated with the Ferranti effect? Here, Ferranti effect means the receiving end voltage is greater than that of sending end voltage. If receiving end voltage is greater, means the loads which are connected to the receiving end voltage are electrical devices such as motors, lightning loads, whatever this is, inductors, whatever it is. Whatever the electrical loads which are connected to the transmission system are designed at some particular voltage. If the voltage rises at a higher value, what happens? The equipment get damaged and their windings burn because of high voltage. That's why it is very problematic for the operation of transmission lines. That's why we must be avoid this Ferranti effect. That's why how to reduce this Ferranti effect means the increased receiving end voltage due to Ferranti effect can be controlled by placing the shunt reactors at the receiving end of the line. What is mean by shunt reactor? Here, what is the need of shunt reactor? How the shunt reactor can eliminate a Ferranti effect means shunt reactor means a reactor. A reactor means inductive coil is connected in between transmission line to the neutral. That means that inductive coil is connected in parallel to the transmission. Then what happens means actually this Ferranti effect is existed due to the charging currents of a capacitor. That's why what happens? The capacitor generates leading waves, that means generate reactive power. When we are using this shunt reactors, the shunt reactors develops lagging waves. That means absorbs the reactive power. That means due to this shunt reactors, whatever the charging currents are power generated, reactive power generated by the capacitor can be absorbed by this shunt reactor. Then charging currents are nullified. Zero. Then what happens? Ferranti effect is zero, eliminates, diminish. That's why we can use shunt reactor. Why? Because of shunt capacitors are the enemies. Both are acts in opposite direction. Those functionalities are also opposite nature. Shunt capacitor generates reactive power. Shunt reactor, shunt inductive coil absorbs that generated reactive power by the capacitor. Then what happens? Normal operation is existed in the transmission system. Exactly. That's why shunt reactors are used in the power systems, especially in the transmission system. That's why the shunt reactor is an inductive current element connected between line and neutral to compensate the capacitive current from the transmission line. When this effect occurs in a longer transmission line, shunt reactors compensate the capacitive wear of the lines, and therefore the voltage is regulated within the prescribed limits. Means to protect the receiving and connected loads, to protect the higher receiving end voltages, shunt reactors are used in the transmission line. So this is the That is the significance of shunt reactor. Is it? So why we can observe one note. What is that means? The rise of receiving end voltage is directly proportional to the square of the length of the line. Means VR, the rise of VR is proportional to the square of the length of the line. That's why Ferranti effect is proportional to the square of the length of the line. That's why in a shorter transmission line, this Ferranti effect is negligible, but in longer transmission line, the Ferranti effect is more occurs in long transmission line because of their capacitance is high. Is it? That is the effect of Ferranti effect. Is it the effect of Ferranti or simply Ferranti effect in a transmission line? Next concept is charging current. What is mean by charging current? Up to now we are only discussed totally based regarding to the concept of this charging current. What is this charging current? Which current is charged at the transmission line? That is the charging current. Which current is charged? Who are responsible for Ferranti effect? This is charging current. Charging current means what happens? The current flows to the capacitor. Whatever the capacitor currents, those are nothing but charging current. Those currents are charged with the series impedance of transmission line or series inductance of a transmission. So that's why here, see here, when an alternating current is applied, the current that flows into the capacitor is called charging current. Is it? So a charging current is also known as capacitive current. The charging current increases in the line when the receiving end voltage of the line is larger than sending end voltage. That's what we are discussing in Ferranti effect. So like this, the capacitors are connected. The current flows to the capacitor direction is like this. Here inductor is connected. Always closed path is existing. So this is capacitor current. Again, these are flows like this. This is the capacitor current. Closed loop. When current flows in this direction, the inductor gets charged. Inductor gets charged means self-induced EMF is there. That's why receiving end voltage rises. Is it? That is the problem with this charging current. So then now we will derive an expression for this charging current or capacitive current. So see here, the strength of the charging current depends on the voltage, frequency, and capacitance of the line. Is that right? We are already discussing here. So here, for a single phase line, the charging current is simply IC is equal to Vn by minus JXC. Vn is phase to neutral voltage, single phase voltage. So then V by minus J by X2 is 2 pi of C, that is omega C. Is that right? Xn is 1 by 2 pi of C, that's why 1 by omega 2 pi of C, omega C, that's why it is divided by. So that's why J into 2 pi of C into V into A here. A means amperes units, that is separated. So here it is minus J means it is plus. Omega C means it will goes to numerator. That means J into 2 pi of C into V into V. A means units, amperes, because of it is charging current. Where C is line to line capacitance in farads. XC is the capacitive reactance in volts. V is the line voltage in volts. And charging volt amperes, VIC, that is power generated by the capacitor, that is VIC. Which power is not active power, reactive power. We have three types of powers in AC: active power, reactive power, apparent power. So now the power generated by the capacitor is reactive power. The power absorbed by the inductor also reactive power. Is it right? So that's why here charging volt ampere is equal to V into IC. Then V into IC means V by XC, right? V by XC from this source, no problem. V into V means V square by XC, volt ampere reactance. And also reactive ampere generated by the line is equal to charging volt amperes of the line. Is that right? That's why here reactive power Q is equal to V into IC. This reactive power generated because of capacitor charging volt ampere. That's why reactive power generated Q is equal to V into IC from this V square by XC volt ampere reactives. This is also called as reactive power generated. So now for three phase, I is equal to Vn by minus JXC. So charging volt amperes is equal to Vn into IC. This is for single phase. This is single phase. Up to now we are discussing. For three phase, 3 into Vn into IC. Is it? That's why 3 into Vn into IC. Right? That means the 3 into Vn squared by XC for three phase reactive power generated by the capacitor. Generated by the capacitor. The next concept is significance of a charging current. This is also called as significance of shunt capacitive compensation. Shunt capacitive compensation. Also, one of the need for shunt compensation. Also, one of the need for shunt compensation. See here, what is the significance of charging current? This charging current reduces the load current, due to which line losses decreases. Which reduces the load current. Charging current reduces the load current. Is it? Due to which when load current reduces, what happens? Line losses reduces, and hence efficiency of the line increases. Is it? Then it improves the power factor of the transmission. Why? Because of the capacitor generates reactive power. That's why what happens means the current developed by the flows through the capacitor is the leading current. That means that current is 90 degrees leads by the voltage across the capacitor. That's why the phase of a capacitor is leads 90 degrees by voltage. That's why which can provides a leading power factor for the operation or for the system. That's why this charging current improves the power factor of the line, and at the same time the charging current improves the load capacity of the line. Load capacity means this charging current strengthens the transmission. Is it? When losses are reduced means what happens? The higher power transmission capability is obtained from the transmission. Means the power transmission capability can be increased due to this charging current. When power transmission capability is increased means the receiving and power is more. That's why what happens? More load is applied on the receiving end side. That means the transmission line bears the maximum demand of distribution system. That is the meaning of this. And one more thing is that it improves the voltage regulation of the line, because the voltage drop is quite small. So here, due to charging current means due to capacitor current, what happens? It is opposite to the inductor current. That's why inductor nature is nullified. That means what happens? Inductor is connected in series. Due to this inductance XL, what happens? Drops are exist. When capacitive current is there, inductive nature is nullified. That's why inductive drops are reduced. Inductive drops are reduced means what happens? We are discussing current effect. But here in this case, we can operate the charging currents in a controlled manner. When the IC is controlled, the receiving end voltage over increment can be reduced, and we can decrease the drop across the line. That means we will maintain the appropriate receiving end voltage, and also we can maintain the good voltage profile of the receiving end. That means voltage regulation enhancement is very accurate. That means voltage regulation is good when charging currents are there in the transmission. That is, voltage drops are less due to this charging currents. This is the significance of charging current, or one of the need of shunt compensation. And direct concept, need of shunt compensation. Why the shunt compensation is required? First, capacitors are connected in parallel to the transmission line. What happens? Which can improve the power factor, because of charging currents are given to the transmission system. Voltage regulation also improves. If we can connect an inductor in parallel, which can eliminate the Ferranti effects. That is the advantage of shunt compensation. That's why in shunt compensation, power system is connected in parallel with the compensating devices. Compensating device means when problem is there in the system, is it? When compensation is there, that problem can be nullified because of compensation. For compensation on definition is there. Is it? Compensation means which is the process of maintaining the reactive power of the transmission line in a prescribed manner. That is the meaning of compensation. Is it? To maintain quality of power, compensation is provided. Is it? Compensation is a phenomenon which is provided to achieve the power quality from an uncompensated line. Uncompensated line means there are no shunt capacitors, there are no shunt reactors. Is it? But compensated line means shunt capacitors are used, shunt reactors are used. Shunt capacitor means direct shunt capacitor, not a theoretical shunt capacitor. We are provided capacitors directly. Capacitors are the dividers. Those are directly connected. Reactors are directly connected. Due to this shunt compensation, what happens now we will see. It works as a controllable current source. These compensating devices are works as a controlling current source. Which current source? If lagging currents are more, that can be controlled by capacitive currents. If capacitive currents are more, that can be controlled by inductor current. That's why shunt compensation is two types. Those are shunt capacitive compensation, shunt inductive compensation. So see here. Shunt capacitive compensation means this method used to improve the power factor. Whenever an inductive load is connected to the transmission line, power factor lags. Inductor is because of inductor, due to inductor the current lags 90 degrees by voltage. That's why the nature of the system is lagging. Due to lagging, what happens? Power loss takes place. Then what happens? More power does not transmit to the transmission. So that's why to compensate, a shunt capacitor is connected which draws the current leading to the source voltage. It means the lagging current can be converted into leading current, then losses are reduced. That means what happens finally, more power can be transmitted to the transmission. That's why due to shunt capacitive compensation, the power factor can be improved. And by using shunt inductive compensation, to compensate Ferranti effect, shunt inductors are connected across the transmission. How means? Ferranti effect is due to the charging current. When inductors are connected, the inductors provides absorbing waves of capacitor in opposite direction. Lagging currents are produced in opposite direction. That's why charging currents are nullified. That's why Ferranti effect is eliminated. So that's why due to this, what happened? The power transfer capability also increase. That's why mainly what is the need of shunt compensation is to improve the power factor and to reduce the or to nullify the Ferranti effect. Anyway, what is the need of a compensation means? Compensation is provided for the enhancement of power transfer capabilities. Enhancement of power transfer capabilities means to transmit more amount of power without losses and also quality of power. Is it? Thank you.